Hello, thanks for joining me for another review. Today we've got something a little bit different for me. But I've been wanting to try it for a long time, and I've had this beer for a few months in the fridge, but fancy the lager. So yeah, I've got the classic Baltika number 7, #7, whatever you want to call it. So these guys are out of St. Petersburg in Russia. So it's a Russian brewery, which you probably already know. It says brewed in Russia on here, but then they're on the back of this bottle it says Baltika.co.uk. So whether it's imported, or should I say, yeah, imported from Russia, or as it says, imported by Carlsberg, UK, Northampton. So this is actually part of the Carlsberg group, so that just confirms that one then. So it was brewed in St. Petersburg. Bottled on the 14th of May of 2019, 1 whole year shelf life. So this is, according to Untapped, a Dortmunder lager export. So it's a really interesting shaped kind of bottle looking at. And I've been watching a few bits and pieces on YouTube about the Trans-Siberian Railway recently. Been really getting into that, and people have been doing like vlogs and stuff, and been really interested to see what sort of beers they've been having on the actual on the restaurant carriage of the train for some of these. And there's been 1 or 2 other Baltika beers, not this one, but 1 or 2 others. I'm like, oh, so I'm kind of fascinated by it. And Russia's such a vast country. I'm waffling on, well off topic of the beer. Anyway, it's a 470ml bottle, which is another odd one. And yeah, green glass, so hopefully it wasn't skunked. We'll see. But this was available, it might still be available in, it's one of them bottles as well, one of them ring pull things. Was available in Morrison's for £1. Or a bit of a pop there. Not much smoke. I just grabbed an ale glass really, just to, as it's a lager. So not really kind of experienced in lagers, to be honest. Well, I used to drink a lot of them, but actually reviewing wise, I let other people do it generally, but there's a few lagers I really want to try, and I will eventually get around to reviewing them. So this is one of them. So it's just shy of a pint. It's a beer in a glass. Lager-like. Not lager-lout, lager-like. Gentle carbonation running through the beer. Very clean looking, very crisp. Typical lager, you know, appearance. So it did pour out a bit of a half a finger. It's gone below that, just white, kind of just topping the beer off nicely, I guess. But yeah, nice looking beer. Let's get an aroma then. It smells a bit skunked, if I'm honest. Although it's been in the fridge, in a dark fridge, for probably the best part of 3 months. I mean, sometimes you get that skunkiness out of a green bottle, but then that sometimes it can die off within a minute or 2 after it's come out of the bottle and into the air. It releases that skunkiness and it kind of disappears. But so maybe it will, maybe it won't. How do you describe this? Apart from that weird sort of aroma that I was just getting, which is there but not quite so much. I don't know, it's got a slight kind of perfumey edge, which for a lager's, I think you can get that sometimes. I remember having a few lagers back in the day and they were very kind of effervescent like that. Yeah, I mean, you're getting that. There's almost like a slight chemically edgy thing, but there is also like a slight bready kind of brown Yeah, a little bit bready, white bread maybe, not brown. What else am I getting? It reminds me a little bit of a Helles in some ways, but then a little bit kind of grainy, like a Pilsner. It's sort of something in between, I guess. Let's go straight into the taste. I'm waffling. Cheers. Okay. I've had one or two Dortmunders before. I've probably had a handful of this kind of it's almost like a hybrid style between a Pilsner and a Helles, I think. In my mind, I can't honestly say that is right, but that's what it's tasting like. Very sweet. But it's not got a crazy carbonation. It's very kind of subdued on that sort of front, as you can see. It's just got a gentle carbonation, which is nice. Not one of them rasping, volcanic type lager carbonations that you get on on draft, mainstream ones like in a pub or something. This is a bit more mellow. I know it's in a bottle, but it seems. I mean, one of the biggest ones, lager-wise, I've seen is Stella on draft, or Kronenberg. They have really got a bit of energy in them. But this is actually not too bad. It's delivering on what I want. I say it's sweet, but not overly sweet. But then on the back end, it's got this kind of nice, almost like white bread, kind of a little bit of spicy, sort of pilsnery sort of quality to the beer. I mean, there's not much else to say apart from that. A little bit of almost a little bit of crackeriness as well, going on with that. But it's very sweet at the front. A little touch of lemon peel. Very light, very refreshing, very clean. That's what I wanted it to do, and it delivered. So that skunkiness is now gone, which is a good thing. But yeah, I have no idea actually how to rate this. I love the actual label. That's pretty cool, and then the shape of the bottle is very unique to Baltika, I would imagine, and it's got I assume it's a Russian crown incorporated into the beer. But yeah, very nice. I'd like to try some more of these, and I think they do a porter or something. I can't remember what number it is, but I will have a look in a minute. But yeah, really nice change up for me. In terms of the rating then, I'm going to just rate it to what I feel and the style and everything all considered. And this bottle was £1 in Morrison's here in the UK. Thanks, Simon, for getting me this a few months back and dropping it off. Yeah, it's really nice, without being too offensive, or sometimes I get that with the lagers, like, oh, this is actually, that sweetness really does help it along for me. I'm going to give this beer I'll give it a 6.5 out of 10. So what's that? So a 3.25 on the Untapped scale. But yeah, not that it really matters. Obviously, scoring never really matters, so don't take my word for it. It's just my little kind of view on it. Over to Untapped, it's had a lot of ratings, of course. It's had 41,789 as I review it, 331 globally in the last 30 days. It's had 32,141 ratings, and it's coming in at 3.02. So there you go. It's about where it is. Give a bit more than that, but yeah, it's here or there. It's all down to personal opinion. So let me know if you've had this one from Baltika Breweries. It's part of the Carlsberg group, incidentally. So yeah, an interesting one. Right, Cheers for watching then, and I'll see you on the next review. Cheers.